Novachkov.
All right, into the pro fights, Chase. Here we go. Starting off first, Boris Novachkov.
I'm probably going to say Novachkov, but that's just how I've been practicing.
Originally born out of Bulgaria, moved to America. And what a storied pedigree Mr. Boris has shown so far.
Yeah, he's a world-class wrestler. Has done it, since he was a kid in Bulgaria, and has brought his European takedown technique to the Americas with him. Moved here in middle school, went to high school in California, high school state champion. Continue for me, Brock. What other?
Oh man, we're talking about NCAA championship. Made it a silver in 2011, a bronze in 2012. We even have a bronze medal in the 2014 European Championships and a silver medal in the 2017 European Championships.
Yeah, and there was some of the biggest wrestling tournaments they are. Competed in the Olympics, didn't medal there, but I mean, that's the biggest wrestling tournament. Even making the team at all is incredibly impressive. You see his amazing athleticism, crazy movement, and that's who Boris Novachkov is. Just doing backflips off the cage. Maybe not a backflip, but doing crazy things off the cage before this fight even gets going.
I think I'm tired just watching it.
Yeah.
Welcome to the arena, Loren Thibodeaux.
Incredible movement just from Boris. And Loren Thibodeaux, his opponent, more of a local fighter, coming out of SMAA in Bossier City. Great school there. Loren's shown great performances throughout his amateur career, throughout his pro career. Has done it all. Great striking, grappling, takedowns, wrestling, whatever have you. He's definitely the more well-rounded fighter of the two.
That's right, Loren Thibodeaux, as you said, coming out of Bossier City, has actually been competing now for about a decade. If you look back all the way back to his amateur, he's a brown belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Has shown a lot of abilities on the stand-up. So we'll see how it works out, because typically Loren Thibodeaux is considered the better wrestler in most of his exchanges. So this will probably be the one time where he maybe not has that, but we'll see how this matchup aligns, because MMA math is its own math at the end of the day.
Yeah, I will say, I don't know how to work. Loren Thibodeaux in his last loss, or was it his, in his last loss, it was suffered at the hands of a wrestler. In Arian Young in the Fury FC cage, big fight, big moment for him. And he had good offensive wrestling in that fight against Arian Young, who's an Oklahoma State wrestler, very pedigreed in himself. But he just was a little too much for Loren to handle, and was able to kind of turn Loren's offense into his own offense, counteract him a little bit, and just kind of kept Loren pinned down. Couldn't get off the bottom throughout the fight. Boris, from what I've seen, hasn't been as aggressively offensive in his wrestling. He a lot of times stands up and throws kicks from range and doesn't force the takedown. That would probably be his best win condition, but he doesn't necessarily do that all the time. So it'll be interesting to see what both of these guys' tactics and strategies are going into this. Boris very loose and kind of weird when the stand up, mostly throws kicks. Doesn't care about getting hit, and doesn't really throw a lot of hands to hit his opponent either, just mostly kicks. Loren Thibodeaux doing a signature sit-down to get this fight started, as Mr. Jamie Grant will give them the announcement.
Ladies and gentlemen, our co-main event this evening is a professional bout scheduled for 3 5-minute rounds in a 158-pound catchweight division. Introducing first, fighting out of the blue corner. He stands 5 feet 7 inches tall, weighing 151 pounds. He enters tonight's matchup with 2 victories and 5 professional bouts, fighting from Bulgaria. As an independent fighter, give it up for Boris Novachkov. His adversary, ladies and gentlemen, in the red corner, standing 5 feet 11 inches tall, weighing 158 pounds. Enter tonight's matchup with 4 victories and 6 professional bouts. He hails from Plain Dealing, Louisiana, representing Synergy Martial Arts and Trouble Boxing. Give it up for Loren the Gator Thibodeaux. Third man in charge of the action, Mr. Basil Magoo.
One thing to take note of as we get started here, Loren Thibodeaux, the taller fighter and also just the heavier fighter, he came in a little overweight, and also Boris Novachkov probably should fight down a weight class or two. Doesn't seem to cut a whole ton of water weight to make weight, just kind of shows up weighing what he weighs.
And as we begin, Loren already showing reach advantage and getting deep, making Boris go in rather spastically, it seems.
Yeah, and as you see, kind of unorthodox striking from Boris. Doesn't seem to be like super classically trained as far as strikes go. Has been vulnerable to leg kicks before. Kind of typical reactions to punches that I've seen in some of the other fights, kind of really ducking his head crazy.
Trying to find an angle in.
He does have good head kicks and kind of crazy spinning head kicks. He landed a nice left hand into the single leg there. Beautiful snap shingle from Boris Novachkov.
And as he tries to smash pass his way through the half guard there, but Loren, knee on the inside, makes it kind of easy to elevate the opponent. So actually Boris going to the other side again.
Yeah, Loren is definitely no slouch here, but you got to expect Boris to have the advantage in these wrestling exchanges, especially a spot like this. This is more of a wrestling heavy position.
This is a very classic wrestling heavy position, and actually rained down a couple of hammer fists in position. Very hip forward, actually probably weighing very heavily on his opponent right here.
Yeah, and Boris was looking for maybe an arm and guillotine. My understanding has a very strong technical one. Loren doing a good job getting back to his feet where he wants this fight. Boris back in on the single.
Yeah, the moment Loren opened up to throw the punches, Boris actually found a wide single, switched over to double knee collapse in a way.
Yeah, Boris doing a much better job of implementing his offensive wrestling than I've seen in some of his previous fights. Like I said, this probably
has to be careful with his leg.
Yeah, this is a spot where Loren could invert and go into like a leg lock position. Boris keeping heavy
now
pressure though with that underhook on that left arm of Loren Thibodeaux, keeping him opened up right there.
Top reverse guard, using the grapevine to try to find his way back to the classic. Yeah, and he has to be very careful not to get mounted, but as a brown belt seems to be very well aware of where to put his knees.
Yeah, keeping the knees in between you and your opponent. Boris was very close to slipping through there into the full mount, but Loren Thibodeaux, showing his grappling experience as well.
And now Loren's not in a dominant position, but went from reverse half guard to full guard.
Yeah, definitely progressed his way through from a very bad spot to a reasonable one.
Boris standing, stacking his opponent on his neck, trying to find a way to rain punches down.
Loren looking for the arm bar.
Boris kind of picking him up there.
Yeah, the elbow's out. He's fairly safe from this position, stacking him up, keeping the weight down, looking for the triangle.
Yeah, absolutely.
At this point, maybe wanting to posture up and out of that. But you could, as long as his knee is kind of in the thigh of Loren Thibodeaux, can use that kind of wedge to keep himself safe there.
Does have to be careful about the omoplata switch off too, though, as well.
Yeah, that's the thing. It's kind of a triple threat scenario between the armbar, triangle, omoplata. There's a lot of things you got to worry about here.
Clears the leg out, goes back to top turtle as Loren gator rolls essentially to bottom.
Yeah, and I think again Boris looking for that guillotine. Loren was able to clear it a minute ago, but Boris does have a decent bite on the neck here. The wrist is so low. He's trying to get that wrist up higher. That's kind
Loren elbow striking to the thigh, trying to make his opponent loosen his grip.
Oh, I think
that is a rather deep guillotine now.
Yeah, at first I didn't like the pull, but now, okay, I don't like it anymore again.
It popped out, but it was a deep bite indeed. But I imagine a matter of millimeters there. Yeah, now Loren raining down his own, and we are in the professional fights. A minute 20 left on this rather lengthy round.
Yeah, it's weird coming off all those amateur fights, going into the 5-minute rounds. And so, yeah, Boris pulling to his back there. He now has to deal with Loren on top of him, throwing these good strikes. And let's say he does a good job surviving here. Like, this could be a spot where he ends up losing the round that he was winning off of pulling that guillotine choke.
Yeah. Single-handedly reversing the damage. Boris trying to find a way to do a switch. A little bit of classic wrestling there, but Loren able to secure it, moving back to topside control.
Yeah, and this is one of those spots where wrestlers are never on their backs, because if they're on their backs, they lose. So, typically in wrestling, he would be going to all fours and putting his belly down on the ground to not get pinned. In MMA, you're giving up your back and get choked from there. So, as Loren dives in on a leg lock,
Boris kind of popped to the side and popped out okay there. Now more to a three-quarter guard situation.
Yeah, this ends up being a very close round just because Loren, even though he doesn't have as much top control time, he's landed more punches than Boris did. So, with damage being the number one criteria, to some extent you would have to lean Loren as far as winning this round goes, even though Boris, maybe controlled 3 minutes to 1 of the fight.
And that could come to the end of the first round. both fighters doing very well, showing a lot of great exchanges, some actual high-level grappling there mixed in. One thing about it, I would say Loren definitely does better on the feet overall, but he has to be careful because Boris does seem able to just overall come in quick and snatch takedowns.
Yeah, what I wonder is, since the last takedown from Boris was like, let's say maybe halfway through the round, now that he's been on back and kind of worn down a little bit, is it possible that his shot's going to be a little slower now? Will Loren be able to defend that shot now that he's seen it a couple times, and that Boris maybe is a bit more tired after that first round?
Absolutely.
I would say that's the main condition for him finishing that shot is, I mean, one, he has great technique, but two, it was so lightning quick. It's like a flash, and then he's on your legs. Maybe he's a bit slower now. We'll have to see as we come out for the second round.
As we move into the second round, I'm sure we'll see from Thibodeaux a willingness to stay on the feet.
And assuming Boris can get the takedown again, maybe second guess pulling for that guillotine or dropping back to take bottom position.
Boris's hand's rather low.
Yeah, this is pretty typical of him. He's
a rather big punch there.
Yeah, he's vulnerable to lead leg kicks. He's actually been finished one time from those leg kicks, but Loren kind of overcommitting to forward pressure and getting taken down because of that. Just kind of standing in front of him, whereas he's a little lighter on his feet, and kind of like Luke Clement showed us earlier, just popping the jab and moving might behoove him to not be taken down this way.
Yeah, it definitely seems that there's almost a built-in gambit in Boris's style of go ahead and throw the punch. It's what I'm wanting.
Yeah.
It is riding the rail, though, as you never know which one will be the one that causes damage. Boris trying to pass the guard, but he's going to have to be really careful, seeming to leave an arm or a leg behind.
It's not quite there yet. It could get there, but the elbow is turned out, so he has some reprieve from this lock.
And now he has to be careful to the cradle position as Boris. Yeah, these are the types of positions. Immediately shoulder rolling off.
Yeah, this is where Boris should thrive more, really pinning his opponent down. Should be very difficult for Loren to get back, but he does manage to get his guard back, at least to the half guard. That's considerably better, you would imagine, than where he was. Boris overwrapping the head has me concerned that he may look for the guillotine again, which I think as long as he stays on top isn't a problem. And he has the wrist much deeper here. This could be it. This is a very deep attack that he could finish, but Loren manages to turn through, get to the back of Boris. What a reversal. Boris hooking the leg, trying to roll through.
Boris's neck exposed.
Some high-level grappling exchanges between these two.
Boris trying to stack his opponent off of him.
Good job swimming the head there from Boris, kind of keeping him compressed. Didn't quite manage to make it to the top, but, man, just really both these guys high-level on the ground.
Absolutely. Boris, hips not flattened out, only one leg extended. Now he goes to his side. You wonder if it's forced purely the overhead wrap of the guillotine there, which did not pan out in that moment.
Weird little wince from Boris from his face as he kind of fell to his side there, and also I don't like how he did that, as he just reverses it out of nowhere.
Found a very interesting way to make the butterfly hook high enough to sweep his opponent.
Yeah, that was, technically very clean reversal. I just it kind of came out of nowhere. Wow, he kind of relaxed his way into it. It seemed like, maybe if there was more tension from Boris on bottom, maybe Thibodeaux would have kind of been more ready for it. But he was so relaxed, it seemed like he just glided into it.
Absolutely, and again, Thibodeaux showing how to use the half guard for the defense as he gets on his side. Only eats a couple of punches, moves into the knee shield. Kind of shows a forward progression on his bottom jiu-jitsu. The kind of level you would expect from a brown belt, but he has to be continuously careful as he goes to a deep half guard here. Maybe trying to find a way to get a leg lock.
Yeah, definitely looking to get to the leg here. Boris got to be careful grabbing the cage.
Boris has to be careful now.
Yeah.
Might be going into a calf slicer if he isn't careful. Seems to be wanting to attack a leg of his own.
Yeah, Boris looking for the knee bar. That was a pretty egregious fence grab. Took a while for the referee to notice what was happening. Boris looking for the knee bar. It's not there.
No, he still has to be careful though, because the calf slicer wins.
Oh wow!
Yeah, he never let it go. So Thibodeaux was continuously trying to climb up to get that reverse calf slicer in.
Okay, sorry, I missed it. You called it, Brock. I didn't quite have the vision on that. That was a great call. That's going to be it. Loren Thibodeaux getting it done in the second round via calf slicer.
Loren Thibodeaux slowly but surely pressing forward. And if you look here on the replay, as he climbs up, I wonder how much outside pressure was being exerted on that knee as well.
if we can, I'd love to see that replay one more time. Just kind of work our way through that.
That was actually relatively technical because he did not get the leg attack, but he still had the leg curled in, never really relinquished that. And when Boris failed on the knee bar attempt and wasn't able to invert himself, Thibodeaux slowly just climbed up.
Monroe, Louisiana, at the 3-minute 27-second mark of round number 2, we have a winner by submission. The red corner, Loren, the Gator Thibodeaux. All right, ladies and gentlemen, I'm here with my winner, Loren. Loren, we get the job done, baby. Verbal submission, round 2. How do we feel about our victory tonight?
First and foremost, I couldn't be here without my Lord and Savior, Jesus Christ. I don't feel great. I'm really, really disappointed in my performance. I know I got the submission. He's tough, and I got high standards for myself and my team.
So where do we go from here? What do you want to do next?
Get better, get back in the gym, get more active. Almost 2-year layoff, but that's beside the point. Real quick, anytime I get a mic in my face, I'm always going to preach Jesus Christ, and I'm always going to preach. If you know anyone with a child or a family member with autism, and you need someone to talk to, please message me on Instagram. It's Papa Tib. I don't care who you are, it may take me a minute to get to you, but I'm always here if you need someone to talk to. Your kids have a superpower. Love and cherish them, they need us.
Ladies and gentlemen, give it up for your winner, Loren Thibodeaux.
Thibodeaux showing great heart there, taking a moment for the platform, making it something other than himself. A great loving father in that moment. Loren Thibodeaux saying he's disappointed in his performance, but I have to be honest with you,